This your boy D Ball. I'm here with Chris A. We have a week two NBA segment where we gonna be talking about the Cavs hot start, Nikola Jokic, and if he's been underrated. What's missing with the Hawks? Star trades featuring Giannis, Jimmy, Zion, and Zach Lavine, and then discussing the Lamelo, Brandon Miller duo. Chris, what's up, dog?
What's up, man? Ready to get into it. So got some fun topics today, man.
Um, I did want to start off with this kind of off the cuff, but
Oh,
injuries. We do have
yeah,
the what's the called in season tournament coming up. I think this starts Tuesday.
yeah. It starts
Um,
tomorrow.
I would
But
be
yeah,
lying
too.
if I said I was excited because I'm really not. It's too many injuries, bro. Chet just went down with his hip thing. I think they said 8 to 10 weeks. I just
Yeah,
wanted your initial reaction to Chet being injured now, added to the long list of stars that's injured.
man. I seen that happen. I was really hoping it wasn't too bad. I was hoping for just like a bone bruise, but he did come down pretty hard. Man, that's gonna be tough for Chet because he was having a great season up until then. You know, really cementing his All Star bid, All Star status. But I think the Thunder will be fine. It just sucks to see him off the court and not be able to really claim his All Star title this year.
Yet another big who's playing better than Victor Wembanyama. I think it's time to add another big on top of Chet. Chet and Paolo, I think that's pretty much a given, just based off this year, have been better than Victor Wembanyama. But there's a
Okay.
new big that has entered the chat. Young big.
I'm
Evan
I'm
Mobley. It's time to segue
Oh,
into the
okay.
Cavs hot start. As we know, the Cavs are 11-0, best record in the NBA. So it's time to actually show them some love and deep dive into the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Mhm.
Um, Me personally, everybody's gonna say it's probably like the new coach, Donovan Mitchell here and there. They gonna say the resurgence of Darius Garland. He done found his game again. But I think
Yeah.
Evan Mobley has been the biggest piece because we know what Mitchell can do. We know what Garland can do. But Evan Mobley, he's been averaging 18 points. He's been averaging pretty much 9 rebounds, 3 assists, but he's shooting 56 from the field, 35 from three, and almost 80 from the free throw line. What do you feel about Evan Mobley and just from what you heard, what you've seen so far this year, and what you've thought about him in the past?
Man, like you said, he is the key to unlocking this Cavs team and really helping solidify themselves as a solid contender in the East. And like right now, you see no one that can really match up with them besides the Celtics at this point. But Evan Mobley is the key to that. Him being more aggressive. You've already seen he's a great defender. you know, a defense player of the year caliber type defender out there. But him being aggressive on the offensive end, him knocking down shots from the perimeter, things like that, him being aggressive, getting to the basket, uh, and not shying away from those, being aggressive and hitting shots, you know, that's what really unlocks the Cavs as a whole offense and as a whole team because it just opens up the floor even that much more. And that's another person that defenses have to play to when you're guarding that team.
I was watching the game the other day. I think it was their latest game, honestly. They played the Brooklyn
Mhm.
Nets. Because before that, they absolutely smacked the Warriors. It was to the point where I was watching like 3 games at one time and I was keeping track. And I'm just like, it's no point in ever tuning into this game because they was up by like 40 at half.
That was
So,
crazy.
and it's been Evan Mobley. It's crazy to say Evan Mobley, like the little hook shot. He's just looking more assertive. He's looking more aggressive. Darius
Yep.
Garland, he kind of fell off last year, but we've known he can score. Evan Mobley, his
Yeah.
main thing where everybody talked about him is like, bro, you gonna have to score. You got to be aggressive,
Yeah.
assertive offensively.
Mhm.
So, what do you think will keep Cleveland from being contenders? And do you think they are a real contender at this point?
So, a lot of people are gonna say like, oh, they're like the Atlanta Hawks back in the day during that kind of time where they're gonna be a good regular season team, but they're not gonna be all that. Or like the I think it was 2021 Jazz, something like that, one of them Jazz teams that did got really hot. But I don't know about that. I think, Cleveland has all the pieces to match up pretty well with the Celtics as far as they have a lot of good, decent amount of perimeter shooting. They have bigs that can challenge them in the paint. They have solid, at least some type of wing talent. Isaac Carl, he can match up with a Jalen Brown and stick with him, or he can do some on Tatum at times. I think they have the pieces as far as in their starting five, and then they have a bench that can actually get them buckets. You see, was it Ty Jerome? I think
Ty Jerome has been hooping.
yeah,
Yeah,
Ty Jerome was hooping. He been
yeah.
hooping for them. So I mean, they have guys that can come off the bench and help him and do things, spread the floor, things like that. So in my opinion, I think the Cavs have all the tools necessary. Now, will they put it together with the first year with the new head coach? I don't know, but they off to a hot start right now.
Is it conference finals or bust with them, in your opinion? Me personally, I feel like year 3 of Donovan Mitchell, Darius Garland, Evan Mobley, Jared Allen, you have to keep getting further than where you were the year before.
Yeah,
So I'm saying you have to at least win 2 rounds. If you win 2 rounds, you win the conference finals, right?
yeah.
So
Unless you hit
me
a point right.
personally, I can't say it's finals or buzz, but I'm kind of looking at that conference finals because who's the top teams in the East right now? Because Philly, I'm not looking at Philly, Milwaukee. We have to come to an agreement that that's done. Those teams are done. Or do you kind of still have some faith in those things?
We ain't even seen Joel Embiid play yet, man. I'm gonna give it to Joel Embiid. Come back and show me something before I just write off Philly. Now Milwaukee, Chris Middleton ain't moving me enough to where that he gonna just turn them into contenders again. Now I don't know about that. Milwaukee's
So
they
you
their problem seems a lot more than just that. So
do you feel like the Cavs will get to an Eastern Conference Finals, or is you still kind
they
of like, man, you still got to see more?
I they should. I'm gonna be honest, they should. You're right. We're in year 3 of Donovan Mitchell, who is one of the premier shooting guard talents. We're in there you have Darius Garland, you have all the Evan Mobley who's ascending. Like we need these guys to show why they're top talents in the league, and they have that conglomerate talent together on that
Hmm.
Cavs team that can do things. So it's not time for like, oh, let's just make it to the second round and be happy. No, we moving on and we doing better things. So that's what the Cavs need to do. Conference finals are bust for me. Now, will they do it? We'll see. But they should. That should be their goal, end all, be all.
What? Because when I think of this team, because another question that's go rear its ugly head because Donovan Mitchell hasn't been out the second round. Donovan Mitchell
Hmm.
hasn't been to a conference final. But I feel
Hmm.
like you said, it's a conglomerate of talent, kind of like the Pistons
Yeah.
when they had Chauncey Billups, Rasheed Wallace, and those guys. It was 4 guys that were good enough to make
Yeah.
an All Star team. I think they had like 4 or 5 All Stars, and it's kind of looking like this with this Cleveland team. It's like you
Yeah.
probably not gonna have the upper echelon superstar, but you have enough, and you have like 3 All Stars. I think Darius Garland made an All Star team. Jared Allen made an
Hmm.
All Star team, and of course Donovan
Hmm.
Mitchell made an All Star team. So it's like you
Hmm.
have the collective of talent, and I think it's time to have expectations for him. Now,
Yeah.
Donovan Mitchell, because last year I kind of felt like they did him dirty in the playoffs. He was by himself. He single handedly won them that Orlando series. I think he had like
Yeah.
what he had like a 50-point game. I'm sure I can't remember, but
Yeah.
then and he was doing his thing against Boston. Evan Mobley kind of came on late, but Jared Allen
Hmm.
sat out. Darius Garland was a no-show.
Yeah.
How much is on Mitchell now? What do we need from Mitchell to where it's like at least we can say it's not your fault?
You talk about as far as like points, rebounds, assists, like that, or like if he gets a game or whatever. Like,
It's like what should be the we done established the expectation for the Cavs because
hmm
it's hey, you kind of got to get to a conference finals or it's time to kind of look at you sideways, maybe thinking about a trade or something like that, probably like package Jared Allen and something to see if you can do something else. But Donovan Mitchell as a star player, can he be a true number one option on a championship team? Because just like Joel Embiid, he's one of the few stars that hasn't been to a conference finals. Like he's
yeah,
along with Embiid has been kicked out in the second round. But he
Yeah.
also hasn't had a team that you was like, okay, Donovan Mitchell, you should get to a conference finals. You should get to a finals.
I think this is his team to where he, especially if they continue this level of play. If Evan Mobley continues this level of play, and yes, Jared Allen continues doing what he's doing. He's a former All Star, like you said. Yes, Darius Garland just won Eastern Conference Player of the Week. So, like, we need to hold these dudes accountable when it come playoff time. Donovan Mitchell out there dropping 30, averaging 28 to 30 every night. And you got fall off from Darius Garland. He no shows again. Evan Mobley. I can't necessarily say that that's his fault. I do think it's imperative that they get the first seed so they avoid Boston till the conference finals. I'm sure Boston will probably be the second seed in the East. They'll win a ton of games. Cleveland is probably crucial for them to keep that one seed so they don't slip down to like the second or third and they're facing Boston in like a second round situation. That's the best path for them to get to the conference finals.
I ain't gonna lie. I think they should get to a conference final. And like you said, they should try to avoid Boston. But I think they pretty much can beat anybody else because they have the size in the front court that's actually
Mm-hmm.
like good defensive players. They got the super scoring guards. They got
Yep.
depth. Um, I honestly think they're the second best team in the East, and they should
Mm-hmm.
get to a conference finals. My only thing is Donovan Mitchell. This is the first year, and I'm a Donovan Mitchell guy, but this is the first
Yeah.
year to where it's like I have a conference finals / finals expectation for you if you really go be that guy, and we got to hold it to
Mm-hmm.
him and this team. And say this is the year to where it can't be your fault, dog. You
Yeah.
got outplayed by Jalen Brunson twice. But then last year you kind of rebounded and your team kind of let you down. This year, conference finals a bust.
Yeah.
This conference finals a bust. You got
No,
anything else
I
on the
agree.
Cavs?
No,
Like
I agree. I just like what they're doing out there. I like they're winning. They're undefeated. I don't know how long this streak gonna go. It's probably gonna get another one because they're playing the Bulls tonight. But I like the Cavs, and I think they have what it takes to definitely make a deep run in the playoffs. They just gotta put it together. So we'll see.
hmm. I'm just trying to think of anything else with the Cavs because
Like, do you think there's anything they lack or they should try to add or need or what?
that's the thing. It's the only thing that I kind of been. Let me make sure before I get to speaking crazy because Jared Allen was missing a lot of layups when I watched them play against Brooklyn. So I kind of want to see if he's kind of like an odd man out. He's 14 a
Hmm.
game, 11 rebounds, 2 assists, 66% from the field, 72% from the. Now it kind of looked like everybody kind of is
Yeah,
doing that thing. He's
dude,
only
that's
at 9
that's
field goals a
fine.
game, but
Yeah, that's fine for my fourth guy on 9 shots. If that's where he gonna
it's
be, because at times he had to step up.
yeah, okay. So this expectations for the Cavs, conference finals of buzz. Donovan Mitchell, you have to prove that you're the guy because I think if everybody's healthy and it's let's even if it's against Boston, because you have the
Hmm.
personnel, you literally have the personnel to match up with them. Now it's going to
Yeah.
be because Darius Garland, jury's still out, but I think in terms of second options, he's as good as he kind of gets, like that level of a
Hmm.
player. Like he's a
Yeah.
pass first, efficient shooter, can get in the lane, good scorer, all that. So it's like I don't even want to hear the excuse even against Boston, unless like one of them dudes just kind of like really stink it up. Like Garland and Mobley just kind of no show or whatever happens with that.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's no excuse to even lose to Boston, in my opinion.
Okay.
If
I don't
Donovan Mitchell
necessarily.
is who we think he is.
I think Boston's a great team, but I do think defensively they should be able to match up as well. So
We go see. But yeah,
yeah.
Cleveland, y'all got expectations. I get if this is what you wanted. Okay. Jokic, underrated start. I ain't gonna lie. I think he had 38, 18, and 15, something like that. Yeah,
Ooh,
let
son,
me make sure I
crazy
ain't tripping.
dog. Yeah, dude. I think he's
37,
had.
18, and 15. Yeah.
Yeah, Dude is ridiculous out there. Like Kyrie put up 43 on like 90 something true shooting percentage, and he wasn't even the best player on the court.
Crazy.
Crazy, man.
Um,
Jokic is Jokic is a real deal, man. And people gonna get tired of voting for him for MVP because he done already won 3. But shoot, we may be talking about his 4th one this year.
because this is what I kind of was thinking about when you brought up this topic. Because right now
Mm-hmm.
he's at 30, 14, and 12.
Yep.
He's 4th in the league in points, 1st in rebounds, 1st in assists. He's shooting 56 from the field, 56 from 3, 84 from the free throw line. Absolutely
Yep.
crazy. This is the question. The only thing that's been on my mind, because that OKC game and that Miami game was very impressive, even though Jimmy got hurt in the first quarter and I had him on a parlay. But
Mm-hmm.
Jokic, I think, because this basically like this. We had Jokic as a 1A, Giannis as a 1B, Luka as a 1C, just depending on what you think of it, and maybe Joel Embiid in there.
Yeah.
Has Jokic separated himself, and is it a gap? Because I personally think so.
Hmm.
Can I give you why I say he separated himself
Yeah.
and
Let
why
me
I think it's a
let
gap?
me hear let me hear why, and I'll rebuttal if I disagree.
Because I think Luca is up there and he has proper claim as being the best player in the league due to this fact. He's probably the scariest scorer, the scariest closer that we have in the league. Is that fair to say?
I think that's fair.
Giannis, he has claim to being the best player in the league because he's probably the most dominant scorer and physical presence that we done had since Shaq. Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
I'm kind of leaving Embiid out, even though I kind of mentioned him. I'm kind of leaving him out. So those
That's
three,
fine. That's okay for now.
Jokic, I think what makes him kind of in that by himself, he can be dominant as a scorer like a Luka, and like he can close out games like Luka, but then he also dominates like physically like Giannis at times. He's still 7 feet and he still is a physical beast at times. Him getting 37 points
Mm-hmm.
easily, him just mashing on Chet. Like literally, like, okay, I'm 7 feet, I'm gonna back you down. Physically, there's nothing you can do. I think he's the best of both worlds. And on top of that, he can facilitate. And on top of that, he's always there. Like he
Yeah.
always has them towards the top of the Western Conference, and we know how tough the Western Conference is. He's the most reliable, durable, and best of both world superstar we have in the league. That's my case for Jokic. It's nothing he can't do. And defensively, he's so underrated now. He was doing stuff in that OKC game and that Miami game to where it's like he plays actual defense. That's my pitch.
No,
Jokic, best of everything.
I'm gonna be honest. I really don't have much of a rebuttal to that. The game speaks for itself. I said it. I was looked at crazy when I said I think Jokic is probably one of the top 5 passers of all time, and I still kind of believe that. I know there's been a lot of great passers in this league. I think Jokic is one of them of all time. Dude is insane playmaking wise, and then he asserts his dominance on you in the paint, and he don't mind stepping out and hitting threes on you now.
Who's some of the best passes you done seen? Like, give me like a short list of the greatest passes that you've seen.
That I seen, I like a lot of what Jason Kidd used to do. Steve
Mhm.
Nash, Rondo, obviously you can throw Chris Paul in there, LeBron. Uh, just off the top of my head right now, flashy pass, you can throw Jason Williams in there.
Okay, so that list. Now, where does Jokic fit amongst those guys?
Mm. I
I'm
got
gonna just
him.
keep it a bug. Nash first. I got Nash first.
I
Greatest
don't
passer
blame
I've
you.
ever seen.
I don't blame you. That boy Nash was crazy. I may put Jason Kidd above Jokic too, just because I really like watching Jason Kidd and seeing type of passes he used to throw. LeBron's cool, but I think Jokic can do everything LeBron can do. I'll probably have him over him. Rondo's a technician when it comes to making passes, facilitating out there, but I probably lean Jokic on that one. So Chris Paul, of course, he always solid, but I'm gonna put him below Jokic too. I probably got him third.
Well, that's fair. That's about where I got him. I probably
Okay.
yeah. I have Nash, Kid, Jokic, uh, Chris Paul, Rondo, LeBron. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Shoot, that man. Nah, that's what I'm saying. I think Jokic, he sees the game and he don't even have to have the ball in his hands a ton to even do damage to you. You could you could have Jamal Murray feed him in the post. He either knows he's throwing that to the corner to Gordon, he's throwing the lob, or he's throwing a lob to maybe MPJ or somebody, or he's feeding. Like he already knows what he's gonna do, or he'll catch it, assert his will, and put you in the basket. It's like, how do you guard this? You need threes. He'll step back. He'll run the pick and roll if he has to, and just hit a three. Like he doesn't mind having the ball in his hands, but he doesn't need the ball in his hands to dominate
Mm-hmm.
as well.
It's just I don't know, bro. It's like when you watch him and it's consistent. It's not even just like, oh, he'd have had a great game this week. He's had a great game every game this week. Like one is, of course, is gonna be bigger than the others, but it's like he
Yeah,
consistently has great games. Like his worst game probably will be a good game. Like it was
yeah,
just a good Jokic game. Like he doesn't have
yeah,
bad games like that. I think his worst game that I can remember was probably was it the Embiid game? I'm trying to think of a bad Jokic game. It's since I've been watching them and really, really watching them, it's probably been like 2 in like 4 years. Like where it's just like,
yeah,
oh man, he was stinking it up. But
yeah.
he just consistently great, and I think that's what separates him. Because like Luca will have a stinker here and there. I think Giannis has missed some time, like to the point where it's like he hasn't been available. I think the thing that
Mm,
separates him and Giannis availability, and then what Giannis is doing off the court, and we'll talk about that later. I think the thing that separates him and Luca at times is Luca's maturity. Luca's just it's just certain things Luca's missing. Luca's, of course, younger, but
hmm
it's a consistent. He got a consistency factor over Luca, especially in these regular seasons. So
Yeah.
I think that's kind of what it is. Because this was a perfect season for Luca to overtake to overtake Jokic as the MVP. Because I'm pretty sure if Luca would have had a great like first couple weeks, it would have been easy for us to kind of chalk him up as the MVP because we all felt like he's due. But the fact that Jokic is kind of like, nah, bro, nah, bro,
hmm
you
You say
just
you ain't getting it that easy. You got to earn it. And I love Luca. Kyrie's been better than him this season so far, and that's okay for my Mavericks. But for Luca personally, if he wants the MVP, he's not going to get it when Kyrie's doing that.
Mavericks not even in the play-in right now, according to the standards. It's not okay for the Mavericks. I'm sorry, it's not a Luca segment, but I'm just saying.
No, that's
Uh,
why. Yeah, that's why I'm trying to keep it minimal. But
I so what are your like expectations for this Nuggets team? Because I had low expectations for them. I'm trying to think where they standings are right now. Like
mm,
Jokic is just so good. It's to the point where we're gonna have to keep expectations on them. Like it. Let me make sure where they at. So I
well,
think
like
they was like 4.
yeah, they
Make
were
sure
low for a bit at the beginning, but they've turned it around pretty
oh,
quickly.
they're 4.
Yeah, they've turned it around pretty quickly. They got a big win yesterday against the Mavericks. Um, I mean, the expectations remain the same for the Nuggets. I mean, they should be back to being a contender. Um, people were saying, "Oh, let's duck the Nuggets." Last year in the playoffs, Anthony Edwards went head to head with them, and came out on top. But not too many teams gonna still want to see Jokic in them like that. They could easily get a Western Conference Finals with no problem
You
if they
think
have
so?
all their pieces together. Yeah, they have all their pieces together. They have their core five. Have their core five out there, which they're gonna have to rely on heavily because the depth isn't there. Even though Russell Westbrook has been showing up and being a positive factor for them so far this season. They're still, they're still working on their depth. They're still working on finding more consistent guys coming off the bench, whether it be, Peyton Watson, Julian Straub, or somebody, to be more consistent. But, with the elevation of Christian Braun, it makes it easy to say bye KCP. Um, Michael Porter Jr. should be continuing to get a little better than what he has. He hit a big shot,
I think
but
that's what it is. I'm glad you
mhm,
brought up Michael Porter Jr. because I'm looking at the standings and I'm hearing what you're saying. Conference finals, for some reason, I don't know why. I know Jokic, best player in the NBA, but conference finals, it just sounds no. For some reason, I just feel like they not gonna get there. But then
but
again, the injuries is probably gonna play a part in it or whatnot.
yeah,
But
the thing is, yeah, like the West is tough. Only two teams can make the conference finals, and there's like four really good teams out there. So
because like it's hard to look at Dallas's record just because it's like they don't have they start in front court basically.
yeah,
Um
and they're getting killed on the boards because of it.
Chet is gonna be out for 8 to 10 weeks. Durant is out for a couple of weeks. Ja
Hmm.
Morant, Desmond Bain, Marcus Smart, they all out.
That's the
Uh
Grizzlies' problem, but
and they're still
yeah,
fifth. They're one
yeah,
game behind because the thing about the Grizzlies is they're still deep. And I think they have so many centers. Then they
hmm,
have backcourt. Like the Grizzlies are in fifth place and they're leading the league in injured minutes. Most players who missed due to injury. So it's
hmm,
like I still think they're a team that's gonna be there. OKC still gonna be there. Phoenix is still gonna be there. And I think just from
hmm,
a depth standpoint, because you really don't want to get in a shootout with Kevin Durant and Devin Booker and Bradley Beal, and they've added depth. You don't really want to get into a shootout with SGA and I seen your face, J Dub and Chet, and they have a lot of depth. My thing is, it's
hmm.
not the Jokic problem. It's not the starting five. It's the depth.
No,
Christian Brown has got
yeah,
better, but it's like
hmm,
now he's part of their starting five.
yeah. That's what I'm saying. So you may need somebody like Michael Porter Jr. to elevate a little bit more than he has. You may need Jamal Murray to quit skating by and actually be a number two. You may need some of these things. You can't have Aaron Gordon being your second best player.
That's basically the issue because we gonna get to it later. Because when we talk about some of these star trades, I think the Nuggets should pull a trade, and it should be centered around Michael Porter Jr. because it's like he should have some value and he has a big contract, so maybe you can get some pair some stuff with him and get you a
Hmm.
big fish because it's now or never for them. And I think
Hmm.
it. You got anything else you want to talk about Jokic, Nuggets, and their start before we move on?
So do you think Jokic is being overlooked as far as like that top guy and on another level and should be getting his fourth MVP and in these conversations with people? Like, are we not talking about him enough, or is he just, he's done it so much that it's not even a thing anymore? It's like normal.
I think uh it's gonna sound crazy, bro.
Hmm.
This dude might be the best player I ever seen. Like real talk, just in terms of just actual just impact, skill, consistency, and the level of talent he's played with. He never played with an all-star, bro. You see what I'm saying? Like, he's
That's gonna look
never had an
crazy.
all-star.
That's gonna look crazy when we look back, yeah. And you would say Jamal Murray is an all-star. He plays, at an all-star level. Not lately.
And then he lost to Jamal Murray year. He lost to Jamal Murray and MPJ year. It was an MPJ year. Like it's so much that Jokic has dealt with to where it's like he's probably not going to be looked at a certain way because of the accolades, the finals appearances, and whatnot. But in terms of what we've seen, how dominant they was when Jamal Murray was playing at that level, like
Mhm.
that was one of the best. That was one of the best finals runs we've seen. Like you beat that Minnesota team and Anthony Edwards. You beat LeBron and the Lakers. You beat who else they beat? They beat Phoenix, Kevin Durant, Devin Booker now. Then they beat the Miami Heat. Well, that was a little, you know what I'm saying? Like it would have been better if it would
It's
have been
not their
Boston.
fault.
But
Yeah, it's
whatever.
not their fault.
That Western Conference run in itself was one of the great runs we've seen. I think they lost how many games? Two or three games. That whole run, like it was a great run, bro.
Yeah, it was a great run. And
So
so yeah,
it,
this is the thing. Like, yeah, I used to say,
yeah, he's overlooked
for
basically. Sorry.
no, yeah, my bad. Yeah, get the like I used to say, when Luca has a team, he can make the conference finals. I think that sort of applies to Jokic. Last year was a bit of an anomaly, but I say if Jokic ever has his team, he could probably make the finals, just like
Yes.
LeBron used to do. Just like
Yes.
LeBron used to do.
I think he's
And
floating in
when
that
you're that,
area. You're right.
yeah, when you're in that area where you have your team, everybody, you have your team, then you pencil in a finals kind almost, you in high territory. And so that's the kind of area I look at Jokic at that kind of level. Not like, oh, he has his team, he can make a final conference finals, or he can go deep in the playoffs. It's like you have your team. I'm looking at the finals for you, unless something crazy happens.
I honestly think he's probably the best big man ever, bro. I'm trying to think like the Cream shit. I'm sorry, the Cream stuff that's cool. The Shaq stuff is cool. The Hakeem Olajuwon is cool. It's no big in NBA history. I'm taking over Nikola Jokic. I am sorry. It's like
Mm,
the floor raising, the ceiling raising. Nikola Jokic, pound for pound, is better than them dudes in basketball, bro. Like he's kind of right there with Tim Duncan. You see, I didn't mention him just because it's like he's like Tim Duncan with that two-way ability, the consistency. But man, just me keeping the buck, I take his ass over Tim Duncan too. Like it just I'm sorry, it sounds crazy, but you asked me if I thought he's never played with an all-star, bro.
mm.
His teams that he's made to the playoffs, he's having Will Barton, Monte Morris, bro, like this man is amazing, man. So you ask me, do I feel like he's underrated? Not just in this era, but I think of all time, he will go be one of the most underrated great players, along with Hakeem Olajuwon. I think he's,
Mm.
in my opinion, the greatest big ever, bro. I'm sorry.
Say, man, I don't blame you for believing that, and we'll see if he get the if he gets the accolades. It's gonna be real hard to argue against it. So we'll see if he gets that.
Okay, moving on. Um, we don't have to spend a lot of time on this, but this is probably one of my favorite storylines in the Eastern Conference because for some reason, like people forget like what Trae Young has done. I, Trae Young has been to a conference finals. When you get to a conference finals and you clearly was the guy, he was hitting all the daggers, and it seemed like he arrived on the scene, young player. He developed this expectation. Now it's like you have to get back, or you was a fluke, or you was this, and that.
Yeah, yeah.
I look at this team, and I just been looking at Trae Young's teams the past few years since he got to the conference finals.
Hmm.
Man, outside of him, most of these dudes is mid, man. I'm sorry. Because
Mm.
he has no second option. He has no who else can go one-on-one on this current team?
You don't. So how you feel about Jalen Johnson?
I love Jalen Johnson as like a third, fourth option, a guy that's gonna be a Swiss Army knife, can shoot a little bit, defend a little bit, rebound a lot. Like, you know what I'm saying? As a
Yeah,
as a role guy. But him being a
yeah.
second option, and who's the third option? Name me the third. Zachariah Ricochet? Then you got Dyson
Bogdan,
Daniels. He hasn't
Bogdan,
played. He hasn't played. He
Onyeka.
hasn't played one
Like
game. He
I'm
comes
saying,
off
when he get
the
back,
bench.
he gonna be that guy for you.
Okay, basically, this is what I'm saying.
But you,
Trae Young
yeah,
is getting too much flack for this because I watched them play. I ain't gonna stunt. They blew a lead. They blew. a lead. Who they just play? I just watched them. Who did they just play? I can't think
The
of the top of
Pistons,
my
right?
head. They just played the Bulls.
Okay,
And
yeah.
they blew a lead to the Bulls late in that third, fourth quarter. And I just was saying because I brought it up because Trae Young went to the bench. He literally had to cut his bench time short like Jokic because these dudes can't do nothing. They couldn't do nothing with him off the court. Like he's dripping with sweat. He's bending down because I think they just came off a back to back. They played 5 games in 7 nights. He's tired.
Yeah.
They done blew 2 leads now where they had where they been up one to the Pistons and then just one the other night to Chicago. And it's because even those teams have a different option of a guy who could do something if you just give him the ball. Trae Young is having to score and set people up the whole game, 4 quarters. And then his backup is Casey Wallace's brother, who I didn't even know Casey Wallace had a brother. So it's like, I don't know him. Like, I don't even know Trae Young's backup.
Yeah.
It's just too much on Trae Young's shoulders, and he's small. It's like you can't put this much burden on him, man. And I think he's just getting unnecessary flack. You feel like he's getting unnecessary flack, or is it justified flack?
I'll be honest. I used to kind of give him flack. I said, "Oh, that finals run was a little bit of fluky," but you are kind of correct in the fact that the Hawks, he did probably overachieve in that finals run, yes, but he made it happen, so you can't knock him for that. And so getting back, of course, is going to be tougher when you overachieve. You know, you're right as far as having like a second solid scoring option. Jalen Johnson is cool, but you probably wouldn't want him to be the number two guy unless he steps up and shows you that he can be. You probably just want him as the number three guy. You had your chance of getting a top pick, getting a guy that can, do something for you. You got research, and we'll see if he turns out to be, that solid second option. But it's looking more like he could be a nice three in this league, and that's cool. But we'll see if maybe if he can become a two. If he become maybe a one, when you draft him first of all, you try to get one. So you know they do need another solid scorer. They have pieces in place over there. They have guys I like. It's probably they have guys I like. It's probably time to move off Capella and try to get something for him if you can.
This is what I'm thinking
But
because, of course, Capella's gonna be a part of it. This is basically what I
mhm,
was thinking because they need a second. They just need a guy who's second, and they have enough pieces. Like you said, you can package something. You have so many guys, but they're so mid that they can't stay on the team. Like I would Capella, DeAndre Hunter, and Bogdanovich and a pick or whatever, or just whatever. Go bring in Zach
mhm,
Lavine. Maybe bring in Ingram. Why this can't be a
mhm.
Brandon Ingram team? Um, I Jimmy, I don't know. I don't
I don't
know.
think he fit. I don't think he fits the timeline. I don't think he's.
Yeah,
That's not a team I'd bring Jimmy to. So I like the
yeah.
Brandon Ingram a lot.
Because
I
okay,
think
three
that's a
guys:
good fit.
Ingram,
Mhm.
Levine, or Cam Johnson from Brooklyn. If you want to go a little cheaper, but
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. I don't mind that at all. I think that's a good. It helps and it gives another guy who can get you 20 points easy if easy if they need to, and it doesn't have to always be on Trey and to set guys up and score. You know everything has to run through Trey, and maybe when you're playing that kind of heliocentric offense or everything runs through one guy, you have to have some guys around them that are a little better to help out with that. He can't he you can't only play that for so long.
I don't think it's heliocentric. I think they can't do nothing. These dudes can't do nothing. He literally, Chris, I kid you not. He got out the game for about 30 seconds and people's losing the ball, fumbling with the ball, can't get past they guy one on one. Like Jalen Johnson, Zachariah Ricochet, Dyson Daniels have no moves. They have no moves. Clint Capella has that one little midi little hook shot thing. And outside of that, he has no moves. Literally
Mhm.
everybody in that starting five: Dyson Daniels, Zachary Richardson, Jalen Johnson, Clint Capella. You have to put me in position for me to score. They don't even have a six man right now. It's just Trae Young gets killed a lot. I think he's even gotten
Hmm.
better defensively. Trae Young is not even negative. He's literally active defensively. Like he's not the Damian Lillard. He's not the Tyrese Halliburton's. Like he's literally active defensively. He's just short. But
Yeah.
outside of that, I think Trae Young and his field goal percentages go look this bad if you have to do everything. He has to do everything. And then they hunt
Yeah.
him on defense. I'm sorry. It's just I can't put it all on Trae Young. I can't because I know for a fact if he was in the NBA finals, he could be an NBA finals MVP. I know for a fact. He's a dog, man. The game against the
Hmm.
Pistons, he had 7 assists in the fourth quarter. That's how much he has to do for these dudes, man.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Hey, I'm not gonna blame. I'm not gonna blame you. I mean, yeah, it's the Hawks are lacking. Star talent. I'm not gonna say they're lacking talent, but they're
Yeah,
lacking star talent.
like just somebody
And
else that can do something.
yeah,
DeJounte wasn't it, Chris. Yeah, he.
I yeah, I don't know how that was the best fit. He even complained about it, talking about I'm standing in the corner. I'm not on the ball as a point guard as much as I would like to be. In that situation, Trae Young would have to be a two guard, but Trae does like the ball in his hands. So
But it's like he's not like DeJounte is not Brandon Ingram. Like I don't want to just give
mhm.
DeJounte the ball and say go cook. Like
Yeah,
and then
yeah,
it's like it's a smaller backcourt. I like Dyson Daniels next to Trae Young. I really like it. I really do like that because he's bigger. Like Dyson Daniels is like 6'7". So that actually
hmm,
works. DeJounte Murray's like 6'4". So it's like 6'4", 6'2", or whatever Trae Young is listed. After Trae Young's really like 6 feet. So
yeah, yeah.
it just that DeJounte Murray, he don't count as a starter, man. I'm sorry.
They need to bring in a wing.
I like Ingram, I like Lavine, maybe Cam Johnson.
Hmm. No, I
Then
like those three. Yeah.
anything else? You don't have anything else on Trader Hawks? You look uninterested in these guys. I know.
No, they man, no man, they cool, but they got more work to do over there in Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
But they got a chance because they in the East, so they still got a chance. Get a high seed. 5-5 get you the third seed now in the East.
Since we've been talking about trades, let's transition. Star trades featuring Giannis, Jimmy, Zion, and Lavine. I'm gonna let you pop this off because this is something you had in mind.
Hmm. Man, so I'm just looking around the league. We seeing, eventually some of these guys are going to be moved because you know teams are going to be tanking. Teams are going to be like realize they don't have a chance and they need to probably try to get in the capture the flag sweepstakes. They're going to realize this is a great draft class, so they probably need to get a higher pick. Um, and there's only so much losing you can take. I think, like specifically Levine and the Chicago Bulls, eventually he doesn't fit in with that he doesn't fit with them as far as their timeline. There's no point in keeping Zach Levine over there because you're not going to be contenders. You might as well get something for him while you can. As far as him going places and being moved, um, I think there's certain teams that he fits a little bit. He fits a good amount of team. I'm slowly converting to your way of thinking that he helps a lot of different teams. I'd like to see him on the Magic if possible. I'd like to see him. The Lakers could use him, get more shooting in their backcourt. Like you said, even the Nuggets could possibly use him, just depending on what you're sending back to Chicago. Um, so in my opinion, Zach Levine's probably the first domino to fall, and then some of these other bigger names. You have Giannis, Jimmy, Zion. Those are more like hypothetical or fantasy, but it's still on the table. I'm trying to see which one do you think would probably be traded first, and who is the best to be, who would you want the most?
First off, hot take. I think Zach Levine, just in terms of basketball, is more valuable than Zion. I don't care. I don't care. Zach Levine is a more valuable basketball player than Zion. Let me tell you why. He can score off or on the ball at an efficient rate. Like, and it's just he's just bro. Zach Lavine is an offensive dynamo, man. He literally brought them back against the Hawks just because he can hit shots. He just started hitting shots in the fourth quarter. Me and Kobe White versus Trae Young. And it's just like that's what it was. Zach Lavine can still score in this league. I think the first domino to fall will be Zach. I don't
Mhm.
think I don't think Giannis gets moved unless he forces it. Do I think he forces it? It's just so hard because
Yeah.
you kind of made this bed, bro.
Yes, well, yeah. When we talk about that, the Giannis part more depth, I might get on him a little bit.
Jimmy, I think you go get 50 cent on the dollar for Jimmy right now, bro. This dude couldn't make it out the quarter versus against the Nuggets, and it was just like you're unreliable now. Not only you're just unreliable. Zion, I feel like Zion has to stay his ass in New Orleans. Nobody could. There's nothing for Zion, bro. Zion don't fit
Wow.
nowhere else because for him to
Wow.
where would you put Zion? I was thinking about it
So you don't
earlier.
you don't you don't think like, I was gonna ask you this, that was gonna be one of my questions. I said you don't think if a team traded for Zion, there's a team that trades for Zion and ends up
Mhm.
making the finals. That can
What?
make the finals because they
No.
add Zion. They add a midseason Zion. OKC, I don't know if they can. OKC
What?
adds Zion. OKC adds Zion.
Zion's not a winning basketball player. When his team has ever been to the playoffs, it's because his ass wasn't there. Like Zion, what did Zion do? Chris, what did Zion do? His field goal percentages went down every year he's been in the league. You know what I'm saying? He's losing more and more athleticism. He can't shoot. He's 6'7" power forward who can't shoot, struggles at the line, don't play no defense, rebounds
Dude,
when he feels like it.
at the rim, he's one of the best finishers at the rim.
Say man, that
Did we
shit
not see what
cool.
he was doing in that play-in game, going toe to toe with LeBron?
Man, and then what happened? He was never heard from again. He's out now. Like he's unreliable for one, and then his game is not predicated to winning no championship. That shit
You
might look
don't think
good
if
against in a play-in game, but
man, I bet Trey Young, like we was just talking about, if they could get their hands on Zion over Ingram, you don't think they do that, or is that a mistake?
that is a huge mistake. He can't play no damn defense, and nah, man. Zion, he's not. First of all, he's not committed to basketball, and then you break down his game. What is his game? If you win a championship and like what is his game? What is he doing for a championship team that you like? Oh, I can slot Zion into this championship team.
Uh, Dominant interior post presence, dominant interior paint presence, uh, forward playmaking at times.
Maybe I'm underselling Zion a little bit, but even when he was coming out, I was scared to say it, but it's just like I don't think you can win a championship with him as your main piece. It's just it's a health thing, it's a play style thing, it's a mentality
Mhm.
thing. He don't check none of the damn boxes, bro. Like he just don't check none of the boxes. Like we gotta keep it real, man. He's in year 6. He's not a baby no more. He's not
That is true.
no. That shit is over. It's over.
That is true. For Zion to be in the league as long as he's been in the league now, and what has he got to show for it? Just an all star?
Man,
The way he
dude,
was talked about coming out this draft, his draft, and yeah, he's
he was
good.
shooting 45% from the field, 33% from three. Like he just not worth it no more. He just not worth it
I
no
mean,
more. He
Zion,
was giving, he's just not worth it no more. I do like the playmaking. I'm sorry, but if you go give me the
yeah,
playmaking, your rebound got to go up. Your defensive intensity got to go up. You got to figure out the jump. You 6'7". Like all this stuff is just it's things I don't like. If I'm putting my personnel GM hat on, I don't like this stuff. I like Zion. But if I'm just putting on the hat, hey, we got to win us a championship. It's too many power. I'd rather have Laurie Markkinen if I'm trying to win a championship than Zion Williams. I'd rather have other guys. I just rather have other
Mm,
guys.
mm.
Do you think
Yeah,
if
I
you
mean,
call Cleveland right now and they like say, man, you can have Zion, give us Evan Mobley.
no. I say I'm not. If I'm Cleveland, I'm not letting go of Evan Mobley. I'm keeping him. I say you can have Jared Allen.
If you, I wouldn't even do that. Now my defense sucks, and we're smaller. But
Yeah, that's
like
yeah.
I'm just trying to think of what's a playoff team that gives up. Do you think would Indiana give up Siakam to get Zion?
Sure would be nice. Sure would be nice, but I don't know if I would do it.
These are the conversations we gotta have. It's like
Yeah, like you say, if and maybe that's the reason why. I don't know if New Orleans actually is trying to get rid of Zion, but if they were trying to get rid of him, it may not be worth. There may not be getting back enough to be getting rid of him.
I know I ain't
So
putting
you
too
just
many
keep
in
rolling.
that basket.
You just keep rolling with him. Cause yeah, I mean,
If I was Brooklyn, I probably would take a swing on Zion if I was Brooklyn because I do have Nick
yeah.
Claxton. I do have guys like Dorian Finney-Smith to play defense around him. Um, maybe, but it has to be you can just have my picks. I don't want to probably just package players with them like
Yeah.
outside of like probably the Ben Simmons bad contract and probably like a young prospect. But then you have a lot of my picks.
Hmm.
Like the only I probably take a swing on them if I was Houston, like a team that, but a
Hmm.
championship team. And even if I was Houston, I don't even know if I want to give up any. No, I don't want to give up no assets for him. The only place for him probably is Brooklyn, bro.
Dang. I mean, yeah, I don't blame you for that on Houston's part too, because you know, Sengun at center, I probably want somebody next to him instead of him playing center. And then that means Zion has to play out of position. So he could help definitely, but is it worth it? Is it worth
If
getting unloading some of my young guys for him?
if you Golden State, would you rather have Zion or Laurie Markkinen?
Laurie Markkinen fits way better in that offense than Zion.
If you the Lakers, what are you willing to give up for Zion?
Man, I need me a guard if I'm the
Uh,
Lakers.
so I'm trying to find a team for him, bro. If you
Hey man.
Orlando, do you be like, do you want him in Orlando?
Oh no, no. Please.
Okay,
I
seems
can't
like we're
have you messing
done.
up my team.
Seems like we done with Zion,
Please.
bro. Brooklyn.
Yeah.
So who
Yeah.
else did we cover?
Giannis or Jimmy, you think? See, the thing is with
G-
Jimmy, he needs to get paid too. And I mean, I don't know how much he wants to get paid or whatever, but I'm really not trying to pay Jimmy.
He wants to
He's
get
not
paid. He
DeRozan.
wants to contend.
Yeah, he's not DeRozan either. Where I feel comfortable paying him a little bit longer. I don't think Jimmy's game is gonna last that much longer.
Can I keep it real with you? If I was the Clippers, I probably would make that call. I'd be like, shit, Jimmy shouldn't be that damn hard to get. I'm like, you can
Yeah.
have what you want. Like what like like I don't know. I don't know what Jimmy will be fetching on the open market, but maybe if I was the Clippers, I'll take a chance on him. If I was
Yeah.
Houston, if I can get them for cheap, I'll take a chance on
Hmm.
them. Uh
Yeah. I say Houston's a good place for him to go if they can get him for the cheap. Um, just so you have more of a veteran star. But I think I'd also want to see my guys get better. Want to see Jalen Green get better. I want to see some of those guys actually progress into becoming a star.
I wouldn't mind if I could get him in. I really wouldn't mind him in Atlanta if I could rent him and get him for cheap. I think
Yeah.
Jimmy really kind of cheap right now in terms of value, bro.
Yeah, if he gets traded, see, I was saying if Jimmy gets traded, I don't think it's going to be for that much. And people may be shocked about that, but I don't think it'll be for that much.
So so some good value trades, those good value trade teams. I don't hate him in Atlanta. I think that toughness, uh secondary option would be right perfect for him. Can could probably I don't know. I don't know. I wouldn't mind him in Orlando for the cheap. Like maybe, you
Hmm.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he's an upgraded KCP.
He can't shoot. He really ain't go Yeah, he really ain't go shoot though in Orlando. I don't know if I
Yeah,
want I think I probably would rather have Zach Levine in Orlando.
I
Uh,
think Zach Levine would be a great fit in Orlando. Yeah, would they want to do it necessarily? I don't know, but I think getting Zach Levine over there would be great. Really, if Trae Young ever decided he wanted to flee town, he should go to Orlando.
with Jimmy, I think I don't know what Jimmy would do in Golden State. That's another team. I don't think he shoots good enough.
You don't want to see him in the nut with the Nuggets either.
He's a spacing issue. I'm not gonna lie. Like I don't know, bro. Like Clippers, maybe
Yeah,
Atlanta for the cheap because they got shooters and stuff. And everybody you kind of put up here kind of hard to get by, except for Zach. Everybody else, I can't get with it, bro. Giannis go
see, the
cost you
thing
too
is,
much.
you say star trades, but really these are kind of like with Jimmy and Zion, these are stars in name, but is their value really star level now? Not really. Zach Levine, he has a really big contract, but so that may help lower his trade value a little bit, but he actually still can do something for you as far as basketball on the court. Giannis, this is far fetched as far as long as if he wants to force his way out. Um, and if he forces his way out, he should try to get to like a Boston. He should probably try to go to Houston. Honestly, um, my bad. Did I say Boston? I meant Brooklyn.
Brooklyn, I think Brooklyn and Houston is Giannis's only best bets, unless
Yeah,
OKC says fuck it, you could have Chet
yeah,
and some stuff. Because I'm sorry, I know you love Chet, but it's just like when it seems like when he gets injured, he's gonna be gone. Because like that first injury, missed the whole season. This injury,
yeah.
8 to 10 weeks, and he's kind of frail. So if you kind of scared about Chet, when he comes back will be the time to be like, man, yeah, we go, you know what I'm saying, get ready now. Everybody still think you have a lot of upside, and it's Giannis. Like
Hmm.
who's gonna be mad? Giannis, I heart, and then you got those guys. Uh,
Yeah. Imagine complaining you lost Chet because you got Giannis. Man, Giannis will fix all
exactly.
your problems right then and there. So I love Chet, yeah. But as far as obviously, if I'm Milwaukee, I'm like, you better give me him or J Dub. Now, if you could keep both of them, which you may be able to do, you give up a Lou Dort, you give up Hardenstein, you say here, take Wallace, something like that.
You have to give me Cheddar J Dub. If I'm Milwaukee, I'm giving you
Hmm.
Giannis. I'm giving you damn near a path to the automatic auto bid to the finals.
See, the thing is, obviously, OKC probably can make one of the better offers for Giannis. I think them. Uh, Houston, I think, has a good amount of young talent and picks. Pelicans got a lot of picks, but I don't know if I really want him over there. So, out of the guys or the teams that can really get Giannis and stuff like that, like who's gonna make the better offers? Probably OKC. But if the offer not good enough, I just say Giannis, you gonna have to stay your mad tail here.
Yeah, facts. I honestly think Houston could make a better deal because
Mm,
you can get Cam Whitmore, you can get Amin. I'll ask for Cam Whitmore, Amin Thompson, and a buku amount of picks, and probably what else could I get? Like you literally could just be looking in the sky like, what else can I get? Houston has so much of
Shoot,
everything. They got the good complement of picks and actual young talent that you think can be something. Amin Thompson and Cam Whitmore
I
probably have some of
I
the highest potential at their position.
mm. I
So
think Cam Whitmore needs to play more. Get somewhere where he can play more. And
I probably throw away Jabari Smith too. It's kind of looking like it's over
mm,
with for him because
yeah,
it's just not enough. It's just not enough possessions to go around in Houston. Like
I agree. Yeah, I think Houston's probably the best place. If Giannis really asking out, I say send me to Houston, or Houston should be low enough to make an offer on him. And maybe that what will prevent some of the teams with more assets from making moves. They holding out to see if Giannis really gonna ask out. How bad is it gonna get over there in Milwaukee?
it's
Because he's
only the
always messing
second
around,
quarter.
acting like yeah, he's always acting like he's never saying I'm never gonna leave. He's always acting like he can leave if he wants to or whatever. The crazy thing is, he built this. The coach he fired is over there having fun in Phoenix, only losing one game. The second coach he fired, I guess, had a winning record. And now the coach they brought in for you, Doc Rivers, ain't looking so hot. You only got 2 wins. You forced out Drew Holiday. You wanted Damian Lillard. Now other guys got to defend more. And you got to defend more because Damian Lillard isn't doing that. And he's not necessarily carrying the load on offense as you thought he might have.
I
You built
think,
this team, you put it together, and now it's looking scary.
and then it's just kind of like maybe you just got rid of the wrong guy too. Why you didn't give Chris Middleton? We ain't seen Chris Middleton since the playoffs last year. He looked good, but it's just like, would there been a world where you can get rid of Chris Middleton and have Drew and Dame?
Mm-hmm.
Because one thing about Drew versus Chris Middleton, Drew plays. Like maybe this all does work if Chris Middleton plays, but he doesn't play. I actually thought Chris Middleton
Yeah,
looked really good in the playoffs last year against the Pacers. Uh, but
yeah,
he hasn't played. That's like it was never just supposed to be Giannis and Dame. It was supposed to be Giannis, Dame, and Middleton.
yeah.
I don't know. But if he leaves,
No,
I
yeah.
will look at Giannis different. And it's only 3 teams he can go to anyway. And
Mm-hmm.
outside of OKC, he's not going to be on a guaranteed championship team regardless.
Okay, let me also add this to a little star trade conversation. Should OKC even make a move, or should they stay where they are?
Nah, they good. I wouldn't even. It just somebody dangle Giannis in front of you, motherfucker GM's gonna be like, man. But
Yeah.
you gotta see what your young guys can do because I feel like this is what happened with New York this year. Mikal
Mm-hmm.
Bridges. I think maybe you make the cat trade because we all kind of felt like Julius Randle wasn't go get it done. But just imagine this same New York Knicks team with instead of Mikal Bridges, you got DiVincenzo and Isaiah Hardenstein. Because you couldn't pay Hardenstein because you knew you wanted Bridges. And Bridges, I
Mm-hmm.
know you seen that screenshot I sent you at a game where the score was 140 to 130 something. You the only person over here getting 8 points, man. Like Mikal Bridges wasn't worth what they paid for him, and it's go backfire. I'm not saying it might backfire. I'm saying it is. Brooklyn looks better without him. Uh, when all you had to do was get healthy and run it back, and maybe add Cat because Julius Randle just didn't fit. But you made a
Mm-hmm.
move, then another move, like you overdid it. And we said this: hey, bring them guys back. Maybe make a Julius Randle trade.
Yeah, yeah. I really think that's what they should have done.
Okay.
We'll see. Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
They treated Mikal Bridges. Shoot, Mikal Bridges got 4 picks. What's Giannis gonna get?
Probably get 10. The biggest in history, the most in history for sure. Last but not least. Um, we was talking about league pass teams, where we would rank teams.
Mm-hmm.
Mark Williams hurt, Nick Richards hurt, Miles Bridges just got hurt, and I don't give a damn. As long as Lamelo is there, it's like I'm go tune in to see what the
Yeah,
Charlotte Hornets got going on.
yeah.
And one thing I noticed, because we kind of talked about this coming into the year and a little bit last year, we wanted to see Lamelo and Brandon Miller, and but we kind of want to see Mark Williams too, and the collection of all they guys. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but I this is what I've noticed about this duo and why I want to bring this up. Lamelo has closed the game, hit a game winner, hit big shots in two of they 4 games that they won on last second shots or last minute shots. Lamelo got one, Brandon
Mm-hmm.
Miller got one. The most interesting thing
Mm-hmm.
about this young duo is they're dogs in the fourth quarters, man.
Woo, woo. You ain't lying. Lamelo lead the league. Lamelo lead the league in fourth quarter scoring now. Hit that clutch shot. Yeah, hit that clutch shot the other day. Oh, unfortunately, they didn't win against the Sixers, but man,
They don't have a front court. They don't have a front court right now. It's just basically it's literally Lamelo, Brandon Miller, and Trae Man. They don't have a front
mm-hmm.
court right now. And Trae Man didn't show up against the 76ers, but that's neither here nor there. He's been
But
great
yeah,
this year.
no, yeah, he's been great.
The sky's the
No,
limit for this duo, bro.
I agree. Boy, the flack they would have got if they had drafted Scoot Henderson.
Oh my God. I hated
I
it.
can't believe, I can't believe people were. Now, I'll be honest. I was out there trying to make a little case for Scoot Henderson. I take it back. I'm sorry. Brandon Miller is a dog. And I should have known from what he was doing in college. It should have been no question. I'm sorry I even questioned it. That dude is nasty. And see, the thing is, I think he has the potential to be great because he can play well off of anybody. He can play well off of Lamelo. He can play well off Miles Bridges, Trae Man, whatever. Like whoever's in there, he can play very well off of them, and he can be a dog. He can be the guy. Like if Lamelo is like, he's like, I ain't got it in me today scoring wise. Brandon Miller can turn up and he can cover for that.
Facts.
Man, the height, the shooting talent, athleticism. Ooh,
What needs to be done to maximize this duo? Because potential roster tweaks here and there. The coach, I don't even know who that coach got. Who is? Why does Charlotte always bring in these guys I've never heard of to coach Lamelo?
he was assistant off the Boston Celtics squad.
Man, Mark Jackson is just doing some podcast with goddamn Killer Cam and Mace. You got Jeff Van Gundy and assistant coach. Where's his assistant coach at? I forgot where
I
he's an
for
assistant coach at. But
Clippers
you
maybe, I
bring
don't
in
know. Yeah.
Charles Lee instead of one of those guys to coach Lamelo. Maybe it's cool, but whatever. My bad. Go ahead.
Hey man, he probably. I'm not mad at it yet. I think he'll be a young up and coming coach. We'll see
Yeah,
though.
he don't
He'll
look
come
bad,
off
but
the. No, he don't look bad. I think what we got to add around Lamelo and Brandon Miller. I want to see him with one of their bigs first. I want to see him with Mark Williams. Um, Nick Richards is pretty good, and I like whenever he's out there, I like them with him. But I do want to see Mark Williams out there. I want Miles Bridges to come back. Uh, because he was, Lamelo's his duo buddy, his second best player for a while, and now, we're inserting Brandon Miller into that role, so he can become a three. Um, I think they have good talent up front, and I think it's developing their bench and their role players around them. Because if as Brandon Miller start his ability to take over uh, increases and rises, and Lamelo continues to bring him along with him, then you have like a Miles Bridges to go around and pair with that. You have a Mark Williams. They have the pieces. I think they need to add either one more, big. I don't know how I feel about them drafting Tijon Salawan anymore. I don't know if I said his name correctly, but
you think he look bad?
I think he has potential. But you know, I thought about, man, what if they had Connect? Or what if they had, you know,
Hmm. I didn't mean to gasp like that. I'm sorry. But yeah.
no, that's cool, but what if they had connect or big wing scorer to go with Brandon Miller? He can move to the two or whatever. So, uh, you know,
Yeah.
I'm not mad at the pick because he
Salon,
has potential.
3 points, 4 rebounds, and assists, 27 from the field, 21 from three, 50 from the free throw line.
Yeah, like he's probably gonna have to go down to the Greensboro Swarm, but they've been kind of so injured that he has to play. So
I,
obviously, you can't judge him. It's a little early, but um, you know, I think he has the potential to check out for them, and if he can grow into becoming another solid piece for them, they may have all the talent they need right then and there, and it's just about getting good, solid role players off the bench. Um, as long as they stay healthy, that's another main thing for them. I do think they have a bright future.
honestly, I think they probably need like a point of attack defender. He could possibly even be shorter, like a Gary Payton type, Jalen
Hmm.
Suggs type of guy to pair with Lamelo, so they can guard the point guards because Lamelo has been getting into foul trouble a lot. I've noticed that.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
maybe a point of attack defender, so Lamelo won't have to be guarding guys in the backcourt. Um, Outside of that, because I like the three. They got 4 guys that can score well enough, and then we've been
Hmm.
potentially have 2 closers because you got Lamelo, Bridges, Brandon Miller, Trae Man. I think between those 4, they all can score as long as you have 2 of them on the court all the time. Their
Yeah,
bigs are good
yeah.
if they actually stay healthy. I think that point of attack defender, they need a point of attack defender. And like you said, maybe
Hmm.
another power forward type of guy that's a little bit bigger because you don't want Miles
Yeah.
Bridges in the floor too much. Uh,
Hmm.
so something like that. Point of attack defender and a power forward, and that probably would be a good enough depth because that's almost like 8. You need like 8 guys. I
Yeah.
think they actually have been benefiting. They go benefit for just it being Lamelo and Brandon Miller. Like just to have it's
Oh
just
yeah.
y'all. Y'all got to find a way to do something. I like it.
No, yeah. I mean, Lamelo's a winning player when he's on the court. He had his team before that one season before he got injured, his All Star season, I believe. He had them in the playoffs. He's gotten them already to a play in. Last
Twice.
year, like you always like to mention, he, yeah, twice actually. He like you always like to mention, he got a game on the Boston Celtics, and he got that game. So he people like to say, oh, he's not a winning player. He has questionable decision making. Yes, but he is a winner, and he does make them better when he's on the court. There's a lot of teams that would give up their point guard or he could go to, and it takes that team to a whole nother level.
He's better than Tyrese Halliburton and Indiana Pacers with LaMelo Ball in that same slot. They're just a way better team. They actually would have a chance to beat Boston last year in that playoffs. He's just more dynamic. Like that sounds
Yeah.
crazy, but Tyrese Halliburton didn't show up offensively as a scorer. LaMelo Ball won't have that problem. Tyrese Halliburton doesn't
Hmm.
close games as a scorer. LaMelo Ball doesn't have that problem. That's why I always never liked the Halliburton over Lamelo thing because Lamelo and Tyrese Halliburton are very similar. The thing that separates them, Lamelo has a stronger build. Lamelo's a more of a dog, and I trust him more in 4 quarters as the closer. Like Tyrese
Hmm.
Halliburton's facilitator and all that, whatever. They're the same archetype, but Lamelo is just more of a scorer and more of a dog and has a bigger build.
Like, yeah, Lamelo, that boy is launching threes. He's like shooting what? He's shooting a ton of game, like almost 13 a game or something like that. Much as James Harden used to be shooting. He's launching them things, and he's still hitting them at a good rate.
Yep,
The thing with
37
Lamelo, he'll hit he'll shoot a ton of threes. He'll make some, questionable decisions, playmaking. He'll get into foul trouble, but he's a dynamo, and he's Mr. Fourth Quarter currently this season. Whereas Tyrese Halliburton, yes, you may get more uh, intelligent plays. He may make less turnovers, whatever, but you're not getting that kind of dynamic performances, those takeover performances, those win you a game type performances um, from Halliburton versus Lamelo doing that. Like I trust Lamelo way more to get me a game than I would Halliburton, and I'm on you with that.
facts. Tyrese Halliburton, 17, 8, and 4, 41 from the field, 27 from three, 77 from the line. LaMelo Ball, 29 points, 6 assists, 5 rebounds, 44 from the field, 37 from three, 84 from the free throw line. And I
Mm,
think the reason why some of these shots are kind of looking questionable, he doesn't have his lob threats. LaMelo loves throwing the lob like
yes,
Trae Young. So, like to have
yes.
Mark Williams, Nick Richards there is a big thing for LaMelo. He's doing it without that. That's a big part of his game. Those lobs.
I give Diabate some credit. I like what he does. I like what he does rebounding wise,
Yeah,
but
he's
he's
solid.
not Mark Williams.
Yeah.
He's not Mark Williams. He's not, and Nick Richards is pretty good as well. So he's cool. I like him as a piece coming off the bench for them, but he's not starter level. So
Rotational big, and he's yes,
yeah,
facts. So anything else on this LaMelo Brandon Miller duo? Because I'm trying to think of duos, like potential young duos. What young
hmm
duos are there? Because you probably
Paulo Franz.
mm,
I mean, they're a little older, but them two. You got
I'm trying to think
that's
of
not
young
strictly
duos that would take
young,
over them.
young duos. There's not many that I really take over. No,
This might be because how old is Lamelo? Lamelo is, and that's the crazy thing.
he's
Lamelo is
I think
still
he's
under.
yeah
He's
25,
23. 23. Lamelo's
23. Yeah,
23.
that's
He just
insane.
turned 23.
Yeah. So, nah,
Brandon Miller
man.
is how old? Let me see real quick. Brandon Miller
20
is
flat.
21. Finna be 22.
Okay, yeah.
Paolo is how old? Paolo. I'm gonna say
He's
Chet and J Dub, even though they're just not a duo by themselves, but in terms of young.
yeah, I know what you mean.
Pal- Paolo's
20
21,
Palace
finna be
21.
22.
Mm-hmm.
Franz might be a little bit older. Franz is 23.
Yeah.
So Paolo
Mm-hmm.
Franz, J Dub Chet,
Mm-hmm. I'm trying to think if
man.
is there really anybody else you take over them? Like young duos?
Garland. How old is Garland? Let me see how
It's
old
pretty young.
Garland is. Garland's 24. He's right at the threshold. So him and Mobley probably count right now.
Wimby Vassell?
How old is
Nah.
Devin Vassell? Now, Devin Vassell's so underrated. He damn near won
But
them
he
the
just hadn't
game
played.
against Utah. Yeah, he only played that one
He
game
just
against
hadn't
Utah.
played. Mm-hmm.
He's 24, so he's right there.
Yeah.
So those are the best young duos. LaMelo and Brandon Miller, bro. Outside of Paolo, because it's got to be Paolo and Franz.
You
But
got
after
a
that, it got
Paulo
to,
Franz right now, but man,
and
who
then
really gonna
maybe
take
Chet and
anybody
J
else? 'Cause
Dub. Paolo
yeah.
Franz, Chet, J Dub, Garland
Ando really
Mobley.
got another. Yeah, because Ando got no. He don't have like a young duo to go with him. But
You would probably say Nas Reed or Jalen. They
Nas
not good
Reed,
enough. They not good enough. They not good
yeah,
enough.
they
No
not.
offense.
No. Yeah, I think that Lamelo Miller is gonna be a premier duo. Like Brandon Miller has very high potential. Like year 3, Brandon Miller might look scary for the league.
It might look great. It might be. And bro. I think he's as scary as Russell Westbrook when it comes to how mad he look after he do something.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't know nobody who looks madder than Brandon Miller after like, bro.
True.
And then bro, I don't even want to say nothing about the killing stuff and all that, but bro looks very violent out there. Like bro looks violent. Like watch him after he dunks or hit a big shot. He looks
Yeah.
very visibly violent, bro.
Hey man, you know what he was going through? He had at Alabama while playing basketball.
And then when everybody was chanting him murderer, against South Carolina, Gigi Jackson, another top prospect. The dude dropped 40. Brandon Miller is like, yeah, Lamelo and Brandon Miller, they gonna be a force, bro. It's serious, man. But anything else you want to say about this duo? Before we wrap it up.
Shoot. You think they got you think they make playoff for sure if they stay healthy and everything, or where you got them going? How high you
If
think they should get?
I'm looking at it right now, if they stay healthy, because right now the top six: Cleveland, Boston, Indiana, Orlando, New York, Miami. I do think those are the best six teams currently. I think Philly
Mm-hmm.
might find their way into that top six, but then Philly
Mm-hmm.
might just it might be too far behind to end up a playing team. So
Yeah.
the better playing teams, I think, are Charlotte, Chicago, if they don't break it up,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm Philly and Brooklyn. I think Detroit gonna be their first team out. I definitely think Charlotte could get an eighth seed because I could see a world where it's uh Philly get the seven and Charlotte get the eight if Philly don't be healthy in time for it to make a run. So yeah, I can see them
Yeah.
in that eighth spot. I can see them in that eighth spot, bro.
Okay.
Mhm.
You just mentioned Detroit. You still got Lamelo over Cade.
Let's talk about it. Easily over Cade, but I have respected Cade a lot more this year. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Cade, I can't lie. He showed me
Mm-hmm.
what I said he had to show me. He has gotten a couple of these
Mm-hmm.
games. I think the thing with Detroit now is Avi's not it. Jalen Duran might not be it. So it's like
Mm-hmm.
you're at square one again because they had the toughest schedule. I think I brought up their schedule, like and
Oh
how
yeah.
tough it was. They
Yeah.
first few games they had uh so my first game it was Pacers, Cavs, Celtics, Heat, 76ers, but they don't count because they didn't have the guys.
Mm-hmm.
Knicks, Nets, Lakers, Hornets, Hawks, Rockets. Them all their games they don't
Yes.
play.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Cade has proven against pretty good competition that he can be that guy. And the games they won has been because of him. So I honestly, and they probably should have beat the Rockets, but they just don't have enough
Mm-hmm.
firepower. Jaden Ivey is out there going 4 for 15. He went 4 for 15, 0 for 4 from three.
Yeah.
Tim Hardaway wasn't hitting shots. Malik Beasley wasn't hitting shots. When that happens, because Cage is he has he actually has proven to me that you can at least build a playoff team around him if you have the right pieces. 'Cause I thought he probably would be like a team where he just low calorie stats, like
Yeah.
a Bradley Beal type of guy. He's better than that. You can build a playoff
Mm-hmm.
team around Cade. Now, can he be like the best player on a second round conference finals team? Jury's still out on that. But you can put a playoff team around him. I think Jaden Ivey and
Okay.
Jalen Duran are not good enough.
Okay.
Mhm.
No, okay. I wanted to get your thoughts on see how you feel about Cade in that regards because he's been playing better. I was on your side of things as well with Cade. I felt like he didn't impact winning enough, in my opinion. And you could say, oh, he didn't have enough talent around him, but he got enough to get a game or two. Now he's shown, with the addition of, some veteran talent, some other talent as well around him, Tobias Harris, Tim Hardaway, some other guys, he can get a couple of these games now, and he's putting his fingerprint on getting these games. So, I can't I have to respect what I said and hold him to that criteria of what I said. So I think Cade is he's proven he can definitely, like you said, be a playoff, build around him and be a playoff, lead a team to the playoffs. But you know, I do expect more from him. I don't want to cap his ceiling as just a playoff guy, especially the way he was being talked as.
Mhm.
He being talked as one of these great talents. I need to see that.
That's another team to where it's like since they moving around veterans and stuff like that. I'm sorry, I damn Zach Lavine fits a lot so many teams because Detroit needs shooting, a guy who can play
Hmm.
off of Cade, and you want to try to just see maximize it, move him all the way to the bench. Jaden, Ivy, I'm like I'll move off of him. But if you have a backcourt with Cade and Zach Lavine, that's the perfect prototype that you want to see next
Yeah.
to Cade. And maybe it's not a long term option, but you just want to be able to see it. Cade and that type of a guy in the backcourt with him, because I think that's the best kind of guy you could put next to a Cade Cunningham in his play style. A shooting guard that can score
Yeah.
off the ball, on the ball, and be efficient. And like audition Cade and see what he can do. That's what I would do if I was the Detroit GM. I'm not married to Jay Navi no more. I'm not married to Jalen Duren. Like I'm moving pieces to see what I have in Cade because at least I know there's something there. Now it's just
Yeah.
auditioning Cade because everybody else y'all can go.
Yeah. No, that's facts. I agree with that.
Anything else before we get up out of here?
No, I think that's it. I think that's all I had. I'm gonna pop something else, but I think that's it for now. Yeah.
Man, this was a fun one. Man, I can't wait to start uploading it, chopping it up. It should be first few clips out tomorrow. This full thing will be out
Yeah.
tonight. Yeah, man, have fun, man. And
For
till
sure.
next time.
No, for sure. I'm ready. I'll see y'all.
Found some shit I love to do, so I can live comfortable. Searching for a peace of mind, need that when it's time to rhyme. Perfect in every line, any chance I get, and I know it takes time, but I will never quit.